Hey guys, this is John2 here, and welcome to the Phantom Forces CTE, where today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today, I'm going to do a little critique of the CTE and kind of everything in it, just to kind of give my thoughts on everything, and with the update getting closer and closer, who knows, maybe this will actually make a difference. And if I'm overly critical of some things, it's just because I like this game a lot, and I want it to be good, and there's some things in here that I don't see as being good. But anyways, let's get into it. We'll start with weapons. First off, the AK-15. I'm still not 100% clear on why this is in the game. I think it just uses a different ammo, but then the ammo is also provided to the AK-12 through a glitchy magazine attachment, so I'm not sure what to think here. But really, I like the idea of more guns, but if it's a kind of a copy-paste of a different gun, I don't know. I could certainly be wrong on this, so I'm not going to be too critical on that, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. The G36K is basically just a slightly closer ranged G36, so, I mean, sure, yes, add more guns, yes please. But again, this thing is like, there's barely a difference between the G36. Like, the drop-off starts sooner, and it's just slightly more stable in some ways, but I really don't see a reason for it to exist. I mean, new guns are okay, but this one is basically the G36 that's slightly better at closer range. Now this gun is just a meme at this point, the German space magic, the G11K2. It's a really bad gun in my opinion, but I'm okay with it being in the game, because sure. It just might need some tweaking, because the burst fire, if you spam the burst you get zero recoil, so that might need some work. But otherwise, sure, it's okay. It's a confusing gun, but it's okay. Now one thing I want to touch on quick here is the attachments for the L85A2. Underbarrel, no grips. Why, though? I mean, this gun wasn't that good to start with. Why are you nerfing it? I mean, it's certainly good in the right hands. Like, it's comparable to the FAMAS in some ways, but I've always thought of it as the more balanced FAMAS. Like, it actually has lower damage, more recoil kind of thing. But why remove grips? I mean, it seems like a really strange way to nerf it. And, I mean, sure, in real life, you have to have some other attachment to attach grips to it. But gameplay over realism, please. If it's fun to use a weapon a certain way, but it isn't exactly realistic, why? I mean, the game is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be realistic. This is not a simulator. So, I mean, if you really want to be picky, just slap whatever the attachment rail on the bottom of this thing. I don't see a reason why grips are not on this gun. And that goes for the L86 as well. Now, I have an angle grip on here, but I'm not supposed to have an angle grip on here because I just haven't used it so long, but that goes for the L86 as well, which, I mean, this gun is a DMR, and you need a grip on a DMR. But, no. I mean, it's technically an LMG, but you should play it like a DMR, that's how it works. But now it's even worse, like, that gun was... When it was first added, it was really good, then it got nerfed, so it was just kind of meh, and now it's just really bad. The L85 family is just dead now. Like, I mean, the L22, which was previously the worst gun, is probably the best gun now. Which, what on earth? Okay, M231. Attachments. Now you have 100-round magazine. That'll be interesting, except you still can't hit anything with it. I mean, good luck. And why would you put a 20-round magazine on it? What? AR-1550. I actually really like this gun. It's like a mix between a DMR and a battle rifle, and I like that. It is very solid of what a battle rifle should be. So, I'm certainly okay with that. I like this gun. I like what they did with it. MP5A4. Why? I mean, for burst gun. This is strange, because if you want to make a burst gun viable, you have to make it better than the original. It fires significantly faster than the MP5, which means if you can handle burst gun, or if you have an auto-clicker, you basically have a better MP5. There's no reason to use the MP5 anymore. This gun completely makes the MP5 useless. But on the other hand, if you match its stats with the MP5, suddenly this gun's useless. I mean, yes, I'm okay with more guns. I want more guns. But if you just copy-paste a single gun and slightly tweak the stats, one of them's gonna be useless. I mean, there's nothing special about this gun aside from the fact that it's burst, and it's better than the MP5, which means the MP5 is useless, so I don't think this gun should be in the game. Like, yes, a burst gun is interesting. I can't use them, yes. But if someone can use a burst gun, the MP5 is now useless. MP5 SD, that got buffed significantly. I'm really happy with that. This gun is actually usable now. So that's good. Okay, so a difference here. MP5, MP5 SD. They have very different playstyles. Very different playstyles. The MP5, it's a run and gun thing. MP5 SD, you flank people. I mean, there could hardly be more difference than that. I mean, unless it was a sniper or something, which it is not, but fine. This gun plays exactly the same as the MP5, but better. Again, there is no reason to use the MP5 anymore. If you want to flank, use the MP5 SD. If you want to actually use the MP5, you use the MP5A4. One of these two guns is going to be useless. Completely useless. You might as well not add one of the guns, or remove the MP5, replace it with the MP5A4, or just not add the MP5A4. If you add this gun to the game, the amount of useful guns stays the same. You've just removed the usefulness of one gun that people previously liked. I don't see why this is being added, honestly. As for the changes to M60, I don't remember exactly what the balance nerfs are, but the fact that it's not going to be a Rank 0 gun anymore, and it's going to be replaced with the Colt LMG, I'm happy with that. Please, do that. It'll allow less new players to use it as a crutch, which is one of the main reasons why it's as much of a problem as it is, because, of course, when you're presented with the M4, the MP5K, and the Intervention, but also the M60, who's not going to pick the big machine gun? And the big machine gun is just a little bit too powerful. But if I start with a Colt LMG, which is it's still a machine gun, it still looks pretty cool, but it isn't broken. Like this gun, I like this gun a lot, it's a good gun. But it's not broken. It's really good. But it's not broken. I like this gun a lot. It's what an LMG should be. Again, back with the L22. It's suddenly really good hipfire. Like, it's stupidly good. Why? Why this gun? Like, I want it... In the main game, as of right now, I would call it the most useful gun in the game. That's how bad it is. But now you make the rest of his family bad and make it really good? I don't quite understand that. But okay. Now for the two new snipers, the L115A3 and the AWS. I love these guns, they're amazing. And it's the MP5 and MP5 SD setup kind of thing. They are very similar guns, but they also have very different playstyles. The AWS is the internally suppressed version of this gun. So, this gun is a blast to use, and the AWS is a blast, but also stealthy. And I just love using these guns. They sound great, they feel great. I don't know, they're amazing. So, the CTE team did amazing with these guns. I love them. That's about it for that. That's it for new primaries. Now for the Deagle 50. I mean, it questionably makes the Deagle 44 useless because it's just the Deagle but with more damage. And then they have the 50 Action Express attachment on the Deagle 44 anyways, so I'm not sure what's going on there. It's kind of just all around more useful. I don't see a reason why you should use the Deagle 44 anymore. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool gun, yes, but it kind of conflicts with the Deagle 44. So now, probably one of the strangest parts of this update, the attachments. I'm just going to start with the Scar Hammer here. Attachments. Optics, normal. Barrel. Okay, we're gonna check these out. The Muzzle Booster, the most broken attachment in the entire game right now. Because what it does is it increases the fire rate, and that's just a straight boost. Of course, it significantly reduces stability in basically every field, but I mean, if you know how to control recoil, there's no downside. Just drag the mouse down while shooting. And like all recoil in Phantom Forces, it just hits a cap at some point, so you just can't recoil anymore. As some people have suggested just making the vertical recoil crazy, I mean, just pull on the mouse. You've completely gotten rid of any downside to using the attachment if you just pull on the mouse while shooting, and there you go, you just got a boosted fire rate, which is incredibly broken on a lot of guns, so... Other people have suggested increasing the horizontal recoil, which would completely make the attachment useless because you just can't hit anything. I mean, what's the use of a slightly boosted fire rate unless if you can't hit anything? It's either broken or useless. There's no in between, so I don't know why that's there. Loudner, I assume that's a joke, so I'm not gonna criticize that, that's funny. T-brake. I don't know what to think about this thing. It's just basically a muzzle brake, but better. Like, if you don't intend to hip fire at all, use this. I mean, use the muzzle brake mostly just on DMRs. But in trying to make the muzzle brake better, they also added this attachment, which makes it completely useless, so... I don't know. I mean, yes, more barrel attachments, but make their upsides and downsides more clear. And I don't quite care for all these attachments, these new crazy attachments of the CTE, because there's no description for what they do. You don't know what they do. Like here, if we go over to the M16A3, there's this ammo, and on the AK-12, there's more ammo types, and in no place are the effects of this ammo type explained. With the M16A3 and the AP ammo, what it does is it increases the body shot multiplier, while also increasing recoil, while at the same time decreasing damage. So, I would never know that unless I looked on the Trello or someone told me. Please, we need a description system for these attachments. It was in the older version of the game before the UI. Please add it back in some way, because a player shouldn't have to go look up a YouTube video to figure out what this attachment does. Like, seriously. That's another problem with the different ammo types. But now for another thing here. Attachments. Other. 30-round HK magazine. So this is a problem. On a great deal of the LMGs, there are smaller magazines as an option. While they do come with their benefits, there's a major problem with them. So I'm going to use the MG36 and the G36 as an example. So say I put the 30-round magazine on the MG36. Now, I have a gun that is basically the G36. But if we compare their stats, the G36 is significantly better. If I wanted to use a 30-round magazine on the MG36, I would be much better off if I just went and ignored it completely and went for the G36. So thus that attachment on the MG36 is broken. I mean, it's completely useless. I mean, sure, they're adding a lot of content to this, but a great deal of it is just completely useless. If I were to put a 30-round magazine on the Hammer, look at the Scar L. I mean, it's also slightly better than the Hammer in that situation. I mean, the Hammer has more recoil. I mean, admittedly, it has suppression, but I mean, what's the use of suppression if you can't actually suppress anyone for any duration of time? What makes an LMG an LMG? What makes a support class the support class? It should be the ability to use an LMG that has a large magazine size in order to suppress the enemy. Use your suppression, throw off snipers, cover a doorway, just spray in a doorway, spray around a corner. Keep enemies from going around a corner. You're just supposed to be the guy back there with the heavy gun that keeps the enemies at bay. Then you let the assault classes rush in there. You stick with a sniper, you suppress any enemy snipers, so your friendly sniper isn't shot instantly. If you don't have a large magazine, you can't actually do that job. So, while having more options for attachments is good, these smaller magazines for LMGs both attack what an LMG should be, and they are pretty much useless because you might as well just use the assault rifle. Now, the L86, this has a 40-round STANAG magazine, which is really good. I like that. I like having more bullets for an LMG. But then we also have the 20-round STANAG, which is, again, the same problem. An LMG should not have less bullets. I mean, why? That's just my question for a lot of things here. Why? I mean, it can be done. Why does it have to be done? Because it doesn't really make sense. Now, that doesn't mean that different magazines is 100% bad on every gun. For example, I found that I really like the 10-round Tapco on the SKS. It makes the gun lighter and much easier to control. It just feels much snappier, and I like it. It does offer a different playstyle than the usual SKS, but if you can land shots consistently, then it actually is a pretty good buff. This is what I think about all of the different magazine sizes. An LMG should not have a smaller magazine as an option. Just use an assault rifle. The magazine will either be useless, or the assault rifle will be useless. With a gun that does not have a family, like, I don't know, the SKS, it does not have any, assault rifle variants. It's a DMR. This is the kind of thing you want different magazines on. That makes sense. Of course, balancing should still be kept in mind. You shouldn't give the Venturas a 30-round magazine, that would be stupid. But some of these guns are balanced around their magazine sizes. And if you mess with the magazine sizes, you better be careful when you balance it. And now there's this fun little thing on some semi-automatic guns called the Hypergat. Basically, if you attach this, you can now fire the gun fully automatic at the cost of reduced fire rate. Stat-wise, it's always going to be better not to use this thing. But if you really don't like spam clicking, like if you want like 1911, you can put on the I-1911, you can put on the M9. I mean, basically, you just have a slower G18. And it's always going to be worse than using it semi-automatic and just spam clicking it. But if you don't like spam clicking, I mean, sure, this is the attachment for you, but just from the balance standpoint, it's always going to be better not to use this attachment, because you're giving up a lot of fire rate and a lot of freedom. And of course, there's the problem here where you can put the muzzle booster on a bolt-action rifle, which makes 0 sense. But what is cool is the new PM2 scope, which I believe is amazing, because it actually allows you to put a sniper scope that is different on a sniper rifle. So, if this came to like more sniper rifles and maybe even DMRs, I'd really love that. I don't want it on like LMGs or assault rifles or anything, that'd be way too much. But if you could get this on like the other sniper rifles, the DMRs, stuff like that, I would really, really like that. Please do that. I like this scope a lot. I like the idea of it. As for the grenades, I don't know. I do not like how the grenade in the CTE feels. I'm not sure what it is. I just don't feel as consistent to me. Like, you could throw a grenade on the rooftop in the current game, and there's a bunch of campers up there, and you're probably gonna get 1 or 2 of them at least. This grenade, you're wondering if you're gonna get 1 of them maybe. Maybe you not get a hit marker. I'm not sure what it is. If it's the hit detection on this is garbage now, if I don't know, it just does less damage, has less range, I don't know, but it feels bad. And I don't like it, and I especially don't like the fact that you can suppress yourself with it through walls, and you can't suppress enemies with it, which is pretty stupid. They need to work on the line of sight thing with that, please. With a smoke, I don't think much has changed with it since I last tried it. I don't think it replicates on other people's screens, which is a significant issue, because, I mean, if you're the only one being affected by the smoke, you might think you're in perfect visual cover, and no, your enemy sees you right out in the open. That's a big issue, needs to be worked on, please. And also, the smoke just isn't really big or thick enough, and the unpredictable nature of, like, particles and stuff is, I don't know. It's just not the best. I like the idea. I want more tactical grenades, as opposed to lethal. Maybe put a tactical option and a lethal option here. Like, where here it's pistols, machine pistols, revolvers, other... I mean, you could have lethal, tactical. As for the stun, needs a different model, probably, but it doesn't do anything. Like, I mean, you can flash yourself, but you can't actually flash your enemies because they haven't bothered doing the line of sight thing, which also needs to be done with frag. So, I don't know, that just needs to be worked on. Still no equipment. I like the crane, it's a good meme, I like that. However, I don't like how it's being balanced. I mean, it has longest range, longer than the machete. I'm not sure why the machete even does over 100 back damage, because you're never gonna... I mean, 100 damage is as much as you can do. It's not like anyone has body armor. It swings as fast as the machete, and, I mean, it has longer range than machete. And the only downside is that it doesn't overkill. First, the machete is unarguably better than the knife, and now the crane is unarguably better than the machete. So, I think they need to work on the knife balancing, please. If you can't do that, just make them all the same. I'd rather have that than just have, like, the machete better than the knife 100%. And the crane better than the machete 100%. Fists, funny, but pretty stupid. You can't get killed. If you get a kill with a fist, congratulations, you just did the impossible. But yeah, I think that's all for the weapons and attachments. Probably stuff I missed, but that's okay. Now for the cases. Starter case, still the same. Splatter case. I like this a lot, actually. It is a really nice case, I love that. Starter case 2, more colors, not gonna argue with that, that's pretty nice. Tier 2, wood case. I actually really like this one as well. It looks really good on a lot of guns. Valentine's case. I mean, you're really, really, really late. Just forget that one. Halloween case, same deal, forget that one. I mean, maybe save it for next Halloween, or Valentine case, save it for next Valentine's Day, I don't know. Japan case. I mean, cool patterns. I like this. I haven't actually seen, like the Swans one looks really strange, but I haven't seen these on guns, but they look pretty good, so I'm okay with this one. Worn torn case. It's pretty good, pretty good. Not my favorite. Like, the top tier ones are really good. The other ones are just kind of, I don't know, they don't... I kind of like it, but it's a camo that doesn't look good on every gun. It'll be harder to make it look good, but it still certainly can look good. Now for this one, please, forget this case entirely. 100%, get rid of it. It is bad. I mean, we don't need more memes. Please, stop with the memes. The DR case, I love this one, aside from the nuclear skin. That thing looks horrible. I don't know why, I just can't stand that single skin. The rest of them are amazing. I love them. The DR2 case, the Digital Revolution case 2, I haven't looked too closely at all these skins, but they all look really nice to me. Another good thing from the same, I don't know, same kind of thing. Both look really good. I like it. Call of Galaxy 5 case. I really want this one. This was my favorite skin in Call of Galaxy 5. I want it so much. Now this. Please stop with the meme cases. We want skins that actually look good, and that you'd actually want to use. Please stop with the meme cases. I don't want any of these things on my guns, and the more bad skins you have, the less likely you are to actually get a good one. So, I don't agree with this one. The doggo case, I mean, some of them look okay, but I wouldn't exactly want these on my gun. It's still the same kind of deal with the meme case. Like, no thank you. Some of them are cool, but nah. This one! Lido, stop. Please, we don't want this in the game. I don't want this anywhere near the game. Please, delete this immediately. This is not something I want to have on my gun. At all. Japan case, customizable, same deal. I kind of wish they didn't have the duplicate thing, because that just makes getting keys more confusing. Just use this one. Just use this one. Forget the other Japan case. Maybe mix the two cases together. I don't know. I don't like having the Japan asterisk in the Japan case. That's not clear to new players what the difference is, and they'll be confused when they get a Japan asterisk key in a Japan case. I don't know. It's just obnoxious. It's having more cases when you don't need to have more cases. I mean, having more skins is nice, but if you have practically the same skins in each case, if two cases have almost the same skins, I'd say what's the purpose of them existing? Just have one case with both the skins. Tier 4, this one's cool. This one's cool. These are my favorite skins. They're just patterns. I like patterns. Patterns are cool. Keep doing more of these, please. As for the UI, I mean, I don't really care for the grenade icon, but otherwise it's pretty good. And, like, the new arms for the characters, that's really nice. I like that. The sounds, I love the sounds. I miss these when I go play the normal Phantom Forces. Please, do more of these. Everything sounds so good in the CTE. I think that's about where I'm going to end this video. If you think of anything that I missed, please let me know. And again, these are just my opinions. A lot of these are just my opinions, and you're certainly free to disagree with me. If you do, be sure to leave a comment. I'm interested in hearing other people's viewpoints on all this. And if you have anything I missed, please be sure to leave it in the comments. Maybe you can start a discussion down there, I don't know. I like a lot of things with the CTE, and there's a lot of things I don't like. It's just kind of a mix. As for the new maps, absolutely, I like the crane site. That's a lot of fun, I like that a lot. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what I can see next, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!